Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to joy, infinite, unchanging nature of being, which is joy. It's not known in this world. This world's made to hide that joy's here. I was just talking to Jesus this morning, and truly hearing how we must step past the nose of the ego, say no to the ego, and follow, because he's saying that the whole game is to say no to ourselves, no to divine light, infinite light of being. That's the entire play in consciousness. And if we're not willing to say no to that, then we're investing in it and we can't know the happiness that we are. It's impossible. But sometimes it does feel like stepping into a fire ring, but that's because the whole design of the system is to make going to God feel hard, difficult, painful. It's the somebody done me wrong song playing, do you see? That we have to not buy into anymore. Yeah, when Kirsten said that, do you know how many times I've had to say no to the ego? You'll see it too. He says, yes. You'll see how many times, because it's such a deep investment in saying no to God all the time. And it seems normal, but it's made, that's the misconstruction of concepts, to say, no, not you, not that little voice. I can't hear that little voice. That's the entire play of it. So we gather together to support each other through his guidance. It's his guidance. You can ask him, Jesus, is it your guidance that we be together in this? That we're brought together in this holy purpose? To say no to the idea that we thought we were and accept the truth that love's here, infinite, unchanging life, true life. Not the ideal concept of what everlasting life is, but the direct experience that he's offering us to look, to starting with the light of infinite being, to see that there's something here, not a thing. You don't have words for it. Are there words really for infinite light? Before we were born, the play of born and death. What's here that beyond all of that? The kingdom of heaven is beyond. The kingdom of heaven within. Jesus talks about, he's not saying the kingdom of heaven next door. That's what it feels like, And you can start to see, like, I really want the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus shows you, no, I really don't want the kingdom of heaven. Not one tiny itty bitty ooch of a scratch of it. But until that's seen, you can ask them, do I need to see that? Yes. Because it just seems, the trick is for it to seem normal, that what we're experiencing in the play of consciousness, the otherness is, that otherness is the gig. See that in the light of divine being, there's not an other. There's what's here. all the love that could ever, it's just here. Sin limit, as they call the phone plan in Mexico, without limit, sin limit. No limits on light. We're so confused about what love is through choice, through the desire that something other than light seems like a fun thing to be doing. Until you really look. See, that's the play, to convince ourselves not to look and have an entire display of consciousness displaying to dabble in little forms and figures and idols, and none of it's bad, you know. It's like, oh God, this is horrible, I have to give up ice cream, you know. It's like or chocolate bars. No. We're so convinced. Jesus, ask him, have I tried to convince myself that it's sacrifice to know God? To be light? But when you get that little lesson, you're like, oh. But then it's like we don't fall for our own delusion that we're, however consciousness plays to fuel the engine of desire, wanting something other than infinite happiness. Until we see we're totally insane, you know. Oh, that is insane. But it's kind of like that. I talked about it a bit, you know. You see, yeah, that seems really insane. Then the next minute you're going, God, what have you done for me? You know, I don't want anything to do with God. No, but now we see it. It's the contrast, how Jesus uses contrast in these light circles. See that you're light. See the light's not coming to get you. Jesus, do I have any desire, any little ooch under there that the light's going to get me, or I'm going to be vanquished by the light? It's a desired experience, so it's good to have. Is there even the slightest little desire under there of being afraid of the light? And then at least if he says yes, you know, then you can, okay, show me. It's the greatest gift of all to see, yeah, there's light here, but abjectly do not want it. Even though it's here, it's hilarious. You can play musical chairs. You set up, that's what we're doing. See, we set up musical chairs, you know, that little game when you're a kid. And then we just think if we change a chair that we won't be light anymore. So it's good. Take out a set of chairs in the living room. Just have fun with it, Jesus says. Have fun. Move to the next chair and check. Is the light here? Yeah. Then go to the next chair. Yeah, because I'm asking them. So we desire an experience in which we convince ourselves that we're light. Ask them. So Jesus convinced me I am what I already am. That's what we're saying to ourselves. Prove it to me, baby. And I'm not going, you know, like a little kid. You know, and then they splay out on the floor. You know, ask Jesus if that's what we're doing. I'm not going. I'm not going to be light, you know. We're still in the terrible twos. We thought, oh, I outgrew that. No, you haven't. Ask Jesus. You're still. And the terrible twos. That's just, you'll outgrow it. No, not until you start following Jesus. You have to transcend it. But again, just you can practice. You just lie on. We have to be more fun about this because it's too serious. Just lie on the floor and scream and scream and scream and just say, "Is the light still here?" And you'll see it. Wait a minute, the light's still here even if I'm yelling and kicking and screaming on the floor, Jesus is, and just notice every time you yell and scream, does it last? With how bad it is, and it's passing. Like we've talked about the weeds on Lake Chapala. Lake Chapala, these big, huge, I mean, there are rafts of weeds go floating by. The birds love them. They're in there eating, and we don't go out there trying to rearrange the weeds on the lake. And he was, and he was talking to me about, so much love in this. He's talking to me about Jesus, I can remember that feeling. You're going to make me do something I not want to do. That play right there. Like the fear that you got to see that as part of the play. You may not for a while, you have to find, because we like that play. The Jesus translation is that, Jesus, I really like doing all this crap I'm doing. Don't take it away from me. That's what it is, he's saying. And I could see that, and we can start to see all the little ego extras. I call them body jobs. You start notice that you're getting all these you're ping-ponging around guide with the egos. You're doing all kinds of things. Oh, I got to do that. I got to call. I gotta. All those people and all those things that we're so sure we have to quote unquote do. That's what we're fighting Jesus for. Ask him. You can ask him. Over all these ridiculous, unnecessary things, exhausting myself. He says, let me take care of it. Will you take care of these for me, Jesus, if you ask me? And then just let me tell you when something needs to happen. Like I wrote David Hausmeister, Jesus is offering a great deal. We were looking at videos, and we'll probably use this one. This is really good. I downloaded different videos, use when we make little clips because they're so much fun. We're having such a great time. A little spark of God, being reminded of God and making the little clips, little meditation clips. And so I found this one, and there's this woman, you kind of just see her legs, and she's sitting by a pool, and her feet are going like this, one dip in the pool and her other toe goes in the pool. That's what she's doing. She's doing that in the pool. It's like, oh, is that perfect? That's exactly what we're doing. Let me just test this little divinity thing over here, I'm going to test it a little when you're already it. When we're already it, we're already the light. It doesn't feel so funny, but it is funny when you start seeing why Buddha laughed at the sky. Wait a minute, I made the whole thing up. And if you stay and lesson 44, 189, where you just drop every idea, you'll wait. I am this, I'm light. There isn't anything other than light. And then the work with Jesus begins in truth. Because you'll see the no, triple no, and quadruple no. And then you don't even know what the no-nos are until he takes you down there and shows you, oh no, I really don't want this. Not one little shred. And he takes you down there. All right. It seems like every cell burns with a no. And when those subconscious suppressed desire the desire for experience, it starts arising. The Master Jesus is, yeah, talk about it, comes into awareness. See, it's suppressed. That's why we ask him, do I have a desire below my level of awareness for desire X, Y, Z? And if he says yes, then you just start, okay, give it to me. Give it to me. Someone said it sounded like sock it to me. It doesn't have to be. It's just to let it come fully out into the light. So it's not running below the surface and then popping up. And you're going, why is this happening? But if we buy into the hailstorm, you know, and the lightning bolts all up in consciousness, the wailing, crying, and gnashing of teeth. Well, that's the play of the ego. And we buy into all that stuff. It's just, see it, ask him, Jesus, is that a distraction from me looking deeply? And hear him tell you it is. And he knows it's the play, but just start to see it. Oh, it's the play. I desire this. Okay, I can look with Jesus. I don't see that he's not requiring one tear. Ask him, Jesus, are you requiring a single tear for me to wake up? Not a single tear. That's pretty. Now they may arise as the release, but again, we're asking Jesus, is this a release or am I holding on? Because we don't even know the difference between that's experience here. It's like, holy smokes. The holding on, or no, he'll go, this is good. This is good. Stay with me. Stay with me. And trust him. Totally. He's the one who knows. And it's just releasing the no. Said, can it be released immediately? Yes, he's shown me many times. Goes, because those deeper no's are down in the subconscious mind, not to release the no. Sometimes it seems it takes time, he said, but it's a good use of time because it's just energy. Or maybe just accept the correction faster and faster, and the delusion doesn't seem to like have a hook, because the energy, the desire below the level of awareness is dissipated. And it's like a humility comes from that. Because while we were going, you know, reading the book, and it's sometimes having experience and it's conceptual and that kind of thing, it's really when it just every day you just see, oh, I need God. I need this help. Deeper as he shows you, boy, there is a big no under there. No wonder I can't ever feel happiness, because there's a big fat play of no under there. So he's taken us to lesson 342. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, my brother. I let forgiveness rest upon all things. See that there's only rest with forgiveness. It's a restful thing. It's so great to be reminded that miracles are energizing. An infinite being. Does the light feel tiredness? It's a beautiful thing when you start to see how you're tired, and that's the signal that you're not wanting to look. Or you fall asleep. I saw it. That would happen. That would happen, you know. I'd be in community and a movie would come, and you know, the deep Z's would come in. You can ask Jesus about it. Jesus, is that Avoidance. He gives me the avoidance. Then, as I say, you start laughing when he tells you something. As he says, that's good, because you have that laughter of he's right. Once again, he's right. You just laugh because it's the lightness of being. It's the lightness that, oh, it's a boo-boo. It's not, it's the way the ego plays. The ego plays to make everything, oh my gosh, you chop the light's legs off, and therefore you're gonna, and then you just look and see that the light's still here. Is the light still here? And go, oh, right, the light's here. And this is just a little, pretend. You can ask Jesus right now, Jesus, is all this just a pretend? When your the little child's playing on the floor, and they're with, and they have like a little doll house and little dolls. Look, isn't that cute? You don't go in there and say, you're creating a whole fabrication and God's going to kill you for it. It's about the same. Ask Jesus. But then you outgrow the toys. Do you see? You just they're going to outgrow the play. Now if they're in college and they got a little you outgrow them. That's why he's trying to, but we're still fighting them for Barbie. I want this body. So, it's best to have them show us that it's really nothing. It's joy. We're fighting them to keep a body till we don't feel joy. Now, we can at least kind of look with them and see that the light, maybe there's something to this light. At first, it doesn't seem like anything. And like Mooji says, you don't know what you've discovered because you keep tossing it. Well, that was good. I've got something else to do besides to be light. That's the play. Until you see how much effort it takes to maintain that face of innocence. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is one he gives you those stack blowers and it goes right. Do I want to maintain a sense of personal identity more than I want God? Is that of greater value to me than God? Is a personal identity more of value to me than infinite happiness? Until you have that, what Mooji calls kiss from inside, the kiss. There's enough spaciousness in the being from ceasing to deny, and that love hug goes through your love kiss, whatever it is, like a full. As he said, he walked out of his life. He didn't care. He didn't care about anything else than that. I was just watching a program today. I don't know how Jesus, everything, I can't even hit a YouTube video and Jesus is going to be in there. It's like, start talking about this gay man, and he lived the Hollywood lifestyle for many years. He was a set designer for a lot of like famous magazines, and he'd go to the World Fashion Show every year in New York and or wherever it is, Paris, London, that was his lifestyle until he just said, this isn't working so good. And don't you know, like within a day or so, it might've been in that same day, there are a bunch of people carrying Bibles in the next table over. There they are sitting there next table over. And that he would be open enough to speak to them. And he was talking, and, you know, it came up about gay men, you know, no, gay doesn't support the Bible and a gay. And Jesus is, you can read chapter 9 in the book, and he talks about, you know, sexuality. But he felt open enough at that time just to listen anyway. And so the next day, they invited him to go to church. So he went to church, and he got the God wallop, the God wallop of love. He just sat in there. It was like, you know, it can look like that. It's just a symbol of how available it is to all of us. And he just was bawling, and he knew that life was over for him. That was like an idea of what he had about who he was, who he is. Concept. He said after that, it just, you know, he can't explain it. You know, and he mentioned, he said, I'm not attracted to women, but I know that's not my, he says, why would you even have any interest in, you have God. He said, but that can't be understood in this world. He said, it's everlasting life. What else? Do you see? We're always looking for the else. What else other than everlasting life? When you get the God kiss. Yet if we don't open the gates through forgiveness, oh, he also said that then he says you can't even, it's going to carry you. You get taken by it. And that's so true. So that's how it felt. There just isn't another way. You're just taken by it because it's divine, the movement of the divine. And he said he knew he was going to ministry school, but he didn't know how. So he's sitting in church praying, and he's going, oh, Jesus, God, I think I need, you know, John over here, I can't remember the guy's name, to come over and pray for me. And he's praying. 5 minutes later, there's a hand on his shoulder. There's John. And he told him, he goes, I think I'm going to go into the ministry. And they started talking, and his friend said, yeah, I was praying to God on this. He said that's going to be taken care of. And then he started talking about people were showing up with checkbooks, just whatever you want. He got his whole 4-year ministry program paid for. We have to just be open to that. Like, God wanted me to see that for purpose, you know? He takes control of what your finger does. He always has been in control. We just refuse to see it, you know, that we were always full of God. As so many spiritual teachers say, we're a fish swimming in the ocean looking for water. When water, where's the water? You know, it's like a fish going over another fish going, have you seen any water lately? I don't know what's happening. I can't find any water. And then we're light. Or light itself. I thank you, Father, for your plan to save me from the hell I made. Jesus, did I make hell? I hear the yes. But I don't want to see that I made hell. Jesus, do I want to see that I made? Am I willing to see it? And you just go with him till he yes. And he says yes. You just go with him on everything till he says you're done. That has been so helpful. Keep asking him. And remember how he was talking to Helen, if you have seen it. You need to ask me everything, including when to stop journaling and when to stop writing on the text. That's how specific he is. And we need that for a while. And I know it's been helpful here. Do I need that thought? What about this? What about this? What about it? Just cleans the closets out. And so there's no investment in anything, any thought, any feeling, any emotion, anything that arises. Do I need to think about? No. Okay. Well. And he will, it builds that trust, and you'll see that he'll bring the things into your awareness that you need to see. And he'll even tell you at the time, something will come up and you're sitting there. Oh yeah, that's a prompt. Is that a prompt? Yes, that's a prompt. Can you tell me right at the time it's needed? Yep. And then that's training so that it's right in the moment. It's right when it's needed. It's right, you know, at the right time. And then you just start knowing things you can't, there's no way to know. You know, Jesus is telling you things about consciousness and what's happening and when it's needed. Is that helpful for me? And you just ask him, and then he goes, yes. You don't know why it's helpful. It just doesn't seem like you would need to know that. But then you realize, I don't know what I need to know. So he has to like tell me everything that I need to know that's helpful for me. Then you start thinking, start realizing, wow, he does need to tell me absolutely everything. And I don't know, because there's so many judgments about form. You know, what's good in form, what's bad in form, what's spiritual, what's not spiritual. I got told the story about this shirt when I was in Jerusalem. I was thinking in the morning, you know, I'm going to the Garden Tomb. I'm not going to put this University of Wisconsin Badger shirt on. You know, and I go to, I love that Garden Tomb. Oh, just like, it's a symbol in the mind. You know, Jesus said it's not important whether he died to live there. That was important. It was my instruction from him to go there and sit there. And sitting in front of, there's the little tomb opening. Oh, it's just Paul and everybody singing to God in there, little groups, church groups singing to Jesus and God. And it's beautiful. And the beings giving you the tour are so in love with Jesus. It's crazy. It's just, so anyway, I'm sitting there in front of the tomb. Because I should mention the only idea, I had one idea when he said, you're going to Jerusalem. And that was, okay, I'd seen somebody talking about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. That's where I'll go. That's all I knew, because that's where supposedly Constantine's mother thought that Jesus was entombed, right? No, I was sent to the Garden Tomb. It's just follow guidance. Like you can't make it about some idea. And I'm sitting there literally meditating on, boy, you know, I'm sitting in front of the opening and a little garden thing they have. It's so beautiful. Thinking, wow, you know, what about Mary Magdalene when Jesus, you know, finding Jesus in the tomb? And up comes this lady and she says, oh, you're from Wisconsin. And she comes and sits down. We start having this little conversation about Wisconsin. And her friend walks over and they start talking. And her friend goes, yes, well, every year we have a tour. We invite all our friends to come to Jerusalem. They're Messianic Jews, which means they believe in Jesus. And we rent a van for 14 people and take them on a tour of the Holy Land. It starts tomorrow. You want to come? Now I'm sitting in front of the tomb. It would be very hard at that point to say no. You know, it's kind of like the symbols had to be like this. And then we're on the bus and they give me a little sheet and I still took a picture of them. They're singing songs about God on the bus. You know, it was just magnificent. I'm inviting to their house of Shabbat. I didn't even know what Shabbat was, you know, and being invited just got swept right into. This is what Jesus does to rearrange time and space so that we know. That's how clear he had to make it to me. This is your function. And he will. He's going to make it clear to each one of us. It is not real, as in hell. So I asked him, Jesus, is hell real? And you have given me the means to prove its unreality to me. To prove its unreality. See, a divine being that needs proof, because that's the play. Jesus, is there a desire through consciousness for a play of being to be proved that the ego's unreal? And hear the yes. Wow. want to put that over any kind of remnant shreds on. Forgive that. Then we have to forgive that. Do you have to forgive it? Yes. Forgive the desire to have an experience in which we get proven to us that we're already light. That's how the world ends in happy laughter. When he says yes on that, and you go, oh, that's true. The key is in my hand. That's what the ego doesn't want to see. Here it's right here. To the door, the keyless to the gateless gate. See that the light is the gateless. There's no gate to light. There's no key to light. It's the desire that somebody's keeping me, one of my brothers out there, keeping me out of the kingdom of heaven. It's that play in consciousness, see? So he brings your brother to see that your brother is the gateway to heaven. The key is in my hand, and I have reached the door beyond which lies the end of dreams. I stand before the gate of heaven, wondering if I should enter in and be at home. Jesus, is there a desire for an experience to wonder whether I should enter heaven? And you go until he says no, that there's no wondering anymore about it. Let me not wait again today. Let me forgive all things. And let creation be as you would have it be and as it is. Let me remember that I am your son, and opening the door at last, forget illusions. See, it's so valuable to see that it has to be our hand on the door. That's acceptance of divine being. I am responsible to see what's true. Otherwise, he'd be telling us that the delusion is true, that we're not light and we're weak rather than infinite power. The infinite power of divinity has to always recognize and accept that it's light. Forget illusions and the blazing. Ask him, Jesus, is the light blazing? And here's the answer. Blazing infinite light. I'm willing to see it. Are you willing to cease to deny it? That's the gateway in. Ceasing to deny it by having him show us the denials and asking for a miracle. Okay, I see that energy, and let that be washed from the board. Then it's very gentle. If we're up in the kerfuffling, emotions, storyline, fear, all that play, we just bought the ticket into hell. Jesus, am I the one buying the ticket to hell? So just as soon as it rises, just go, okay, show me the desire for this. Do I, and ask them. That's a powerful thing. Jesus, is this, do I have a desire to have an experience of whatever seems to be arising? And you'll see that for many, it's like, wait a minute, okay. And then you can ask them, do I need to be having this experience to wake up? No. But it will persist if there's a desire for it below the level of awareness, then it's going to keep running. So then we go, okay, can you show me remember he said, show me the conditions that are miscreating this. And just pause and let him show you. Show me the conditions. Now, if you're not willing, he can't do anything because it denies divine power to miscreate, which nothing's happening, but to you, it feels like something's happening and you're saying no to God. And then there's not even a crack under the door for him to come in and show you, okay, look right here. Just look right here with me to see that it's nothing and how much you really want it to be something. And that releases the energetic of making it something, the density in the body experience. As those desires go, the perception unifies. It's not like everything you touch is other. You'll feel it. You'll have the experience that your perception, even touch, is changing. It's no longer an other when you touch a chair. It's just a sensation. And the fear goes in that. Just a play of consciousness. To put your hand on a chair or whatever, where you are, just feel it. Say, Jesus, is this a play of consciousness? And did I make this up? It's like, yep. Oh, interesting. Okay. Do I need to be afraid of it? And hear what he says. When I feel this chair, whatever it is right here, do I need to be afraid of that? Is the light afraid of it? It's an appearance. It doesn't change the light. Does touching this chair prove that I have a body? Ask Jesus. Doesn't prove that a body. Does touching this chair prove that I'm separate? Can that prove that I'm separate? No. Oh, that's why he can answer every question for us. You can ask him, Jesus, okay, I'm touching this chair. Am I using it to try and prove that I'm separate? And hear the yes. The ego used that to try to prove separation, that there's a body and a chair apart from it. And forget illusions in the blazing light of truth as memory of you returns to me. Brother, forgive me now. I come to you to take you home with me. And as we go, the world goes with us on our way to God. See, he's really asking about that. He's really not saying, I'm ripping the world from you. It's not my function. It's merely to function. You are so far beyond the world, infinite light. His function is to show us that we're already whole and complete and that the world has no dominion. And God has no, the light is benevolent. It's not hiding a stick inside that light to hit you because there's an expression of the world, the play in the world. But see the simplicity of looking to see the light doesn't know what a grievance is. And therefore, since we're light, we don't know what a grievance is. You can ask Jesus. So I'm the light, Jesus. See if he tells you no. He doesn't tell you no. Yes, I am light. You just refuse to believe it. If you still do, if that's a play in consciousness that arises. So follow me, he says, follow me. And I will lead you out of this world as an idea of the concept of the world, because all the world is a concept. You can ask Jesus, is the world a concept? Is this an idea? And does the world hold any dominion over what I am? In my direct experience as a light being. Amen.